One of the hardest things to do in football besides scoring goals is being able to dribble with super close control, almost like the ball is glued to your foot type of look. And it's even more difficult if you're not a natural dribbler. So first, we need to lay the foundation out when it comes to dribbling with super close control. And that's having the ability to carry the ball at a decent speed whilst keeping it under control. And you can do this by setting up 2 gates around 10 steps apart. And you just want to dribble in a straight line to each gate. But what's really important is that you use the correct technique for this simple drill. So to dribble with speed and control, you want to be using the outside of your foot right above where your small toe is. And this won't only give us a clean connection on the ball, but will also allow us to dribble and run in a natural position. So as you make contact with the ball, you're able to then plant your foot down and take your next step, which feels more natural and easier when you dribble at speed and control. Now our goal is to take a touch with every step we take. So if it takes us 10 steps to get to the gate, that means we then take 10 touches on the football. And this is just to simply keep the ball as close to us as possible. So if a defender tries to lunge in or tackle us, it's under our control and we can just manipulate the ball because we get the ball close to our body. You also want to have a good low center of gravity, so you want to make sure your knees are slightly bent, and if you can, try and have your chest slightly over the ball as you dribble. Now that's the foundation, and like I said, doing that gate drill is a great way to gain the basics of keeping the ball close at speed. But of course, we also want to be able to move in different directions and also at different speeds whilst keeping the ball under control. And doing diagonal dribbling is a great way to practice exactly that. Now the key isn't just to go through the cones in a zigzag pattern and keep the ball close, even though that's important, but we also want to slightly change our speed as we go through the cones. You know, if you're always going at the exact same speed, you then become very predictable as a dribbler. So if you can slightly change your speeds, go from slow to fast and fast to slow, it's going to be a lot more difficult for defenders to want to make a challenge on you. And the change of speed doesn't have to be anything crazy. Just that slight bit of acceleration or deceleration is enough to put the defender off. And so you can practice as you go around the cones to slow down a bit, but then you can increase your speed as you go to the next cone. And of course, we still want to have those dribbling foundations that we talked about, so making sure we're keeping the ball super close by taking a touch with every step we take. Now, something I feel that's very important no matter what level of dribbler you are, is to practice free dribbling. Cones and drills are great for working on the precision of our touches, especially in tight spaces. However, what's really important is that we try to replicate an actual game situation. And the closer you are to doing that, the more it will actually benefit you in an actual game. Because when you step out on the pitch, there aren't any cones or anything to make sure you're dribbling correctly. You have the complete freedom of the pitch. And doing free dribbling is a great way to take what we've learned and practiced and be creative with it. So something I like to do at the end of my sessions, especially if it's a dribbling session, is just get 2 gates far apart and just dribble freely within that space. Of course, with free dribbling, you have to use your imagination a bit. Otherwise, you'll just be tempted to dribble in a straight line to the gates. But if that's the case, then just take away the gates completely and just dribble with complete freedom. But of course, you want to be somewhat creative and add a few different touches, maybe throwing a few body feints here or there, and just try to dribble as close to how you would dribble in an actual game. And also, this drill is a great way to get fitter on the football, because with free dribbling, if you haven't tried it, it takes a lot out of your legs. And so it's a great fitness exercise to use as well. So overall, you want to master the dribbling foundations, making sure you're taking a touch with every step you take, having a good low center of gravity, having those knees bent is very important. And of course, using the outside of your foot around the toe area to nudge the ball when you dribble. If you master those things, plus add a change of direction and speed, that ball is going to look like it's glued to your foot. And you just feel much more confident when you're dribbling past players, or when you're dribbling at players, should I say. But that's it for today's lesson, and I'll see you guys next time.